The human race is one of social beings. That is to say, we rely on one another to live. Most people in modern society don't get food without the help of a predominance of complete strangers. And unlike many animals, you don't find a sexual partner by ambushing them on a field somewhere. The healthiest way for us to do things as people is together. Oftentimes, this extends beyond what is essential to life and into desires, passions, interests, and more. These collections of people overlapping tastes, struggles, and lifestyle choices are called communities. Of the many communities we have in this world, today I want to focus on the FGC, or fighting games community. More broadly, I want to focus on fighting games and what makes them different, or rather, what makes fighting games special. Fighting games are a particular breed of game in which there are two traditional distinctions to be made. The first is the element of the duel. Most entertainment media revolve around a protagonist having to overcome something. In video games, this protagonist is the player. Platformers are a sequence of AI-managed obstacles that oppose the player or a group of players. In FPS, or first-person shooters, the player can find themselves in a free-for-all crossfire frenzy, or in a team of 3, 4, or 5 players playing against another group of the same size. Puzzle games are player versus puzzle, and so on and so forth. Fighting games, however, are unique in that their premise is entirely based on player versus player action. There are two perspectives, two players from two different backgrounds, often speaking two different languages, with individual playstyles, regularly playing unsimilar characters, representing their respective teams, sponsors, countries, and their own selves in a one-on-one fight. Fighting games are all about the tension between two, and this is evident in the broader community, looking at age-old rivalries. Sonic Fox and Goichi are a great example of this. Having developed their rivalry over years, it reached peak in the last year and a half, following the release of Dragon Ball FighterZ. Their story is one of ups and downs on both sides, but the 2018 and 2019 Evolution Championships are most likely the crux of their interactions.
Half-Life gonna be lost for this. And he's got 4 bars. Oh, bruh.
Yeah, no character dead yet, so no Super Saiyan 4. But still a chunk. Look at that. That's a 2M starter. And the air dash
side on top of it. That's gonna be a down character.
Missed it. He should have maybe jumped forward.
Got both of them.
Oh,
Spark.
man.
But
That's both. Man, that character in the back is dead.
Yeah.
Drop the big pink matter.
Oh, whoa.
Now sparking available for Goichi. Challenge the button.
Challenge. Yo, Goichi says, nah, bro. You got the character, not the W. But he drops, oh man, he drops the light after. Starts to break on the Dragon Rush.
Yeah, you know Sonic's looking for the tag level 3. Wow, he calls him out. Goichi's on one character between him and a reset 3-0. Goichi.
Oh, the Dragon Rush, he knew it was coming.
He went for the power pull. Extend. Try to get as much damage as possible. He builds one bar. This should be the kill. Level 1. Goichi brings it back.
We're still fighting for Sonic Fox, and now Goichi's running it back. Yeah.
Throw that spirit bomb down. Setup. Powerful. He was reading the backdash. We saw that in the first set.
There's those key blasts again. Air to air.
That's the kill. Okay, so 2 characters left. Fox is down so much.
No sparking. 2 characters apiece. 5 bars between them right now.
Oh man, the blocks from Sonic jumps back. Auto combo missed.
The jump back M5 to Spark, that's gonna be big damage. He has 5 bars.
Yeah, that's the end of Kid Goku here, and that's the thing about Goichi. He's been jumping and up backing a lot, and really using that to throw off Sonic Fox's timing and catch stuff like that auto combo whiffing. Last character between Goichi and Evo Championship. Can he take out Sonic Fox's Kid Buu? Fox goes for the reset, the challenge. Goichi was ready for it. He brings him up. This is it. Drop him, keep it simple. There it is, Goichi, your Dragon Ball Fighters 2019 Evo champion.
After overcoming hand injury.
But perhaps what is most pertinent in the rivalry shared by the pair is what happens after the 2019 Grand Finals. Having secured an EVO title for the first time after being so good at Dragon Ball FighterZ for so long, Goichi breaks down into tears, and while the entire audience ruptures in applause and congratulations, it is none but Sonic Fox himself, having been denied his own championship, who gracefully raises Goichi's hand. This is a solid indication of the level of respect that develops in a fighting game's rivalry. From Mango and Armada to Daigo and Justin, there is almost no case in which two giants in any given fighter will not show sincere mutual respect for each other. But it doesn't stop at the highest level. Even in the common case scenarios, the people who are regularly going 1 and 2 in every bracket make connections as well with their opponents, and it is through the repeated clashes that these rivalries come to fruition. The duel. It's a beautiful thing within fighting games. Not only for its purity, the idea that you and your singular opponent are the only ones responsible for the outcome of the game, but for the bonds that you build. Playing any game with others develops a rapport over time, but when it's just you and someone else, the social energy is kept between the two fighters, and you build something that's stronger. Therein lies the beauty of the duel. The impact of the one-on-one nature of fighting games doesn't stop at the micro-relationships, however. From the dawn of fighting games, predominated by gatherings at arcades and halls organised over early Facebook and Google+, the idea of losing and knowing you can run back the game there and then if you have the time and, in cases, the money, is one that allows players to build their own network of thorough connections. The fact that the community has been built over the course of years for players, by players, in a unique and at times slightly informal manner, adds an individuality in the FGC that you can't quite find anywhere else. At Evolution, a high-level esports event with many sponsors, thousands come to watch and participate, travelling overseas to play against the very best, and millions more tune in on online platforms to watch live gameplay. The moments are full of excitement and tension, wonder and awe, upset and disbelief. This is high-caliber esports, but it's organised and predominantly supported by volunteers, part-time workers, and above all else, lovers of the game. When you compare this to the many events for other game genres that are professionally funded and heavily sponsored by the games and surrounding high-value businesses, it gives the FGC a shine that really pushes forward the beauty of the community. This is no discredit to the communities of other game genres, nor is it to say that the FGC is at all perfect. As a community, it is certain that we have a long way to go. There are issues and scenarios that all of us would rather never happen. There are villains.
What's the black DSP comment? Just call me a DSP. Don't call me a black version of something.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Not to you. I'm sorry to Phil.
But as a community, we recognise the issues, and we are endeavouring to move forward and improve as best as we can. And that is really important. The community of fighting games doesn't stop at being committed. It's diverse. Within fighting games, there are a plethora of options for any interested soul to uncover the nuances of. From traditional titles like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, tag team battlers like Skullgirls and MVC, to 2.5D fighters like Tekken, the wacky fast-paced anime fighters like Melty Blood and Dragon Ball FighterZ, and even platform fighters like the Super Smash Bros. Series. There is something there for almost anyone, and the diversity of playstyles, mechanics, characters, and scenes to be part of allows for an interesting group of people to come together and interact with each other in a way that cannot be found anywhere else. Where most games have this sense of unity in uniformity, the key factor to bringing people together in the fighting games community is the difference between its members, and the willingness those members have to express their differences in predominantly non-confronting ways, save for in-game of course. These expressions at the highest level form unforgettable moments for anyone present. An example, far more formidable than any other that could possibly be given, is Evo Moment 37, the Daigo parry. The frame-perfect parrying of Chun-Li's ultimate by Daigo in the last game of the Street Fighter 3rd Strike semi-final set in August 2004. Daigo, understood to be one of the very best, if not the best, Street Fighter player internationally, finds himself in a rough spot playing against Justin Wong, one of America's best, and, well, I'll let the moment speak for itself.
Justin's turtle style, overcome Rao, now on the verge of putting Daigo down 1-0.
After the element of the duel, the second distinction to be made about fighting games is their complexity. The topic of the complexity of fighting games is something you could do a university thesis on. You could do a university thesis on just about anything, but that's besides the point. Every fighter, as previously mentioned, is different from others. Each game has its own unique set of mechanics, from air dashing, blocking mechanics, parrying, assist features, and many more. The players have a broad variety of factors to consider, and in most games, the luck factor is completely reduced. There is no random bullet spread for my jab that consistently comes out 2 frames after I've pressed the A button, or a dice that has to be rolled to dictate a multiplier for my Dragon Punch's damage. Consistency is key. In the FGC, this is something that is highly valued, as, in most cases, FGC members are oriented around the competitive facets of the game. For this same reason, the technical demand and level of psychological depth in fighting games brings forth an illustriousness in the genre that is unique. Common aspects of fighting games such as spacing, movement, combos, and mind games each have several layers of depth to them, and many levels of quality to which they can be exploited in game. The need for the very best to achieve in all of these areas at high levels and still be aware of the successes of their opponents in the same fields, the ways in which they can exploit weaknesses, and so many other factors brings gameplay to surreal levels. Fighting games are like hyper-fast chess, where there is need for the player to be aware of their current position, their optimal move from that position, and all likely moves of their opponent. The intricacy is so highly valued that many sub-communities have players who, knowing they cannot perform as well under pressure, prefer to dedicate their time out of pressure to training mode, working out techniques and combos that can be taken up by other players, a process known as labbing. And the results show for themselves. Watching high-level fighting game gameplay is often challenging for people who are new to the scene because there is so much going on at once, and it's palpable, but not visible. The common misconception about fighting games is that they're all about violence and killing the other guy. But there are 1,000,001 psychological components to any fighting game, which make them very good mental exercises, and make the players very intelligent people. The intricacy and mechanical demand is a very special part of the fighting game genre. Fighting games. A family of all sorts of people. The good, the wacky, the fan favourites, the gods. The collection of players is as diverse and broad as the rosters of the games they play. It's a growing community, a swarm of people who are constantly connecting and reconnecting, challenging each other to grow and develop through intense one-on-one interactions. The grind to be the best never stops, and everyone is welcome to try their hand at attaining glory. But only one leaves with the title. I am Daniel Famikin, known online as Crazy Hand with a 4 for an A and alt caps. And this is what makes fighting games special. Thank you.